The night was in a full bloom. The black crows had flown upward to the moon. Every animal in the woods knew it was the night of Halloween. He was there, too. He was standing on his back, looking at the moon, who now looked bright and white. The backyard looked pained. He took a harmonica and put it between his lips, like broken glass, under the sand. He grabbed his vest, wore it on his back, bent like a tense bow, wore his black old shoes, that were torn to the sides. After this, he took a bottle that was on an old pale table full of scratches and nail crabs. He opened his window, got stiff at the point of the window and fell down. There. He fell. Suddenly, from his shoulder blades came out two big wings and he flew high above the roofs, looking for his prey. The moon, floating and covered under the poof clouds, who looked moldy and dark, suddenly started hiding behind the clouds. He flew high above the trees and hung himself on a branch. After resting, he flew away. The moon now concealed behind the clouds and it was pitch black. After flying 10 minutes, he landed on an abandoned property. There was an old cabin on the ground. He flew in. What was the cold and dark? Everything was dirty inside the house. There was some dried blood on the floor. The chimney looked soaked. It looked like it wasn't cleaned up for a long time. There was a mirror in the middle of the living room. A big mirror, edges decorated with old woodwork from the 60s. It was on the floor. Creepy, he stood up and walked to the mirror. He looked right in the mirror and saw his pale old face. His big brown eyes that looked oval-shaped started to become circular. His wings shrinkled in and hide behind his back. His teeth started taking the shape of human choosing. His chilled back took a straight shape and his ears got smaller. He looked like a human now. He looked at his poodle naked body in the mirror and a tear rolled over his cheeks. Then he walked to a table where there were several bottles. He grabbed a bottle and opened it carefully. A bitter smell came out and he sneezed really hard. Hatchy. After this, he drank the bottle. Poof! There was a decent young gentleman dressed in a beautiful suit. Like he had to go on a date. He looked himself back in the mirror and walked away. Shortly after, the houses and the trees of the streets were decorated with art pumpkins and ghost figures. The whole town was aware of the Halloween party. He walked through the streets to the Halloween park. The park looked really busy. Kids running around with Halloween masks all over the place. There was a lot of things for sale: cookies, cakes, sugar cone spiders and, not to mention the amazing fries. He was there, too. He looked around, but couldn't find her anywhere. Suddenly, he saw a lady in beautiful ballerinas and a black dress eating a sugar pine. He saw her and blushed, walked to her and greeted politely. She turned around and greeted as well. "Hi, I'm Ameera. And you?" "Draven, nice to meet you." "So, how do you like the Halloween park?" asked Ameera. "It's kind of funny," he answered smiling. Ameera didn't know what was waiting for her. Together, they walked to a quiet place where no one was found. The park was bigger this year, because Ameera saw new attraction, like ghost houses, rolling rides and not to mention the roller coaster that looked really attractive and grim. Ameera and Draven walked to a bank and sat on it together. Draven made an impression fast by kissing her hand. Draven asked if he could buy her anything. Ameera didn't want anything and said she wanted to talk to him. Draven first asked about a hug and Ameera agreed. Draven started putting his arms around her shoulders and Ameera did the same. Suddenly Ameera felt something sharp on her neck. She stuck her left hand in her purse and pulled out a knife. Soon she put that in Draven's chest. Draven groined it and fell on the ground. Suddenly the wind started blowing in the park, because the clouds were already pitch black. People ran away. Ameera got up, wiped her neck, which contained red blood, sticks and ran away from the park, leaving Draven behind.